And then today, of course, Trump got dragged into court. I mean, I see this as kind of the closing act. The curtain is coming down on the Trump scam. But the question, let's say that they actually find evidence that Donald Trump was more of a traitor than we realized. You know, what if we find that, for example, the classified information that was taken down to Mar-a-Lago that was so top secret that you can't, that the National Archives can't even describe what it was? I mean, these are literally levels of classification above top secret. I think one of them is called compartmentalized, and since, you know, in other words, only a very small number of people have access to this. That's the kind of stuff that he took to Mar-a-Lago, and apparently he's kept a bunch of it, which raises the question, why? Why do you think Donald Trump took all that information to Mar-a-Lago, and why did he hang on to it? And when the National Archives went down and picked up their 15 boxes, according to some news reports, he hung on to another 12 of them. So what's he hanging on to, and why? And to the question that I started a moment ago, if it turns out and is definitely, you know, proven, if we find, you know, for a fact that the information that Donald Trump has is, for example, the names of American spies inside Russia, because, you know, of all the people that Trump has sucked up to, you know, he sucked up to the Saudis so that his son-in-law could get $2 billion from Mohammed bin Bonesaw. We have no idea how much money MBS gave to Donald Trump himself. It most likely went, you know, assuming that he did, and I think that's a reasonable assumption, although I have no evidence to back this up. This is just a theory. But if MBS did give Donald Trump money, in addition to giving his son-in-law and daughter $2 billion, and of course, you know, how much money did he pay him for the Bedminster, you know, Live Golf Tour? Was that an excuse to give him $100 million, $200 million? I mean, he's paying Phil Mickelson $400 million. How much did he give Trump? But, you know, so we know about that kind of casual betrayal of our country, that kind of casual, but you know, Saudi Arabia, outside of apparently having played a role in 9/11, Saudi Arabia isn't generally regarded as an enemy of the state, as the enemy of the United States. In fact, they're typically regarded as an ally. That is no longer true of Russia. And, you know, if we find that the documents that Donald Trump has are, as I said a moment ago, like, for example, the names of American intelligence agents who have burrowed into the Russian government, and we find that Donald Trump has handed that over to Russian agents the same way that his first week in office, he burned an Israeli spy and I mean, invited Sergei Lavrov and Ambassador Kislyak into the Oval Office. The Russians released this picture. Trump tried to keep it a secret. It wasn't on his official logs or anything. I mean, he literally tried to keep this a secret. But they came into his office, and the Russians released the pictures, and the Russians released a quote from Donald Trump saying, you know, I was having all kinds of problems with the FBI, but I got rid of them. You know, this is the day after he fired Comey, right? So we know that Donald Trump has been in the pocket of the Russians. I mean, if it hadn't been for Putin interfering in the 2016 election, Donald Trump never would have made it into the White House. The Mueller report clearly establishes that. So if it comes out that, yes, he burned American spies to the Soviets, or to the Russians, rather, and, you know, it's fairly irrefutable, will that cause Republicans to abandon him? Will that cause the maggot followers to say, okay, that's a bridge too far? My guess is it won't. I mean, you got, you know, Rand Paul and his buddies out there already voting against aid for Ukraine. You've got Tucker Carlson echoing, you know, official Russian state television, you know, quotes and things like that. I mean, what's it going to take? What's going to happen here? How long is it going to be before, or is it ever going to be, that Americans who have been seduced by the siren song of Donald Trump, the oh, I'm so rich, I'm not under anybody else's thumb. I'm going to restore a white America and white supremacy. I'm going to, put those black criminals in their place. We're going to have the cops beating people up again. The people who just, we're going to bring jobs home from China. I mean, some of that stuff is pretty reprehensible. Some of it is stuff that a lot of people want. Bring home the jobs. Yeah, please. So the people who bought into that siren song, is this going to be enough to wake them up to the fact that they've been the victims of a giant grift, a giant con? That's what Donald J. Trump is, that he's a grifter? Or are they going to continue in their, in just blindly or blithely ignoring reality? I'm not so optimistic that these people are going to wake up from their cult. But, that said, I know very few of them, and the ones that I do know, people like Julio Rivera. I got an email from him yesterday about, coming on the show. Julio's he's a decent human being. I mean, I know him personally, but his politics absolutely suck. But he's making a living saying that he believes Trump. And, not to pick on Julio specifically, but, many of the Trump people who come on this program, I'm willing to accept that they're still following Trump and they're still believing in Trump, but they're making a living doing that. So they've got a little added incentive. But what about the people who aren't making a living following Trump? What about, red state Republicans? Is Trump taking the fifth this morning going to be enough? Sean, now that you're back at the board, if you can bring up my computer, let me just play this audio here out of my computer. Oh, Nate's got it ready? Hey, Nate, go ahead and play that clip there.
He put it in the illegal server. So there are 5 people taking the Fifth Amendment, like you on the mob, right? You see, the mob takes the Fifth. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
Yeah, there you go. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? Well, this morning he took the Fifth. And, where is this going to go?